What's up, people? This is Outside the Ropes, hitting you with a prediction video on the Shane Mosley versus Berto bout, January 30th, 2010. We're going to kick off the year strong. Can't wait for this match. I'm excited about it. And by the way, that is the Shane Mosley versus Berto fight. Not the Berto versus Mosley, but the Shane Mosley versus Berto bout. Get it right. But anyway, let's talk about both fighters. Let's talk about Shane Mosley, man. Shane Mosley, he started off his career, man. He had a very good streak, man. He had a bunch of first round knockouts. His streak was actually 38-0 with 36 knockouts. Oscar De La Hoya at that point was one of the ones that he didn't knock out, but he beat, Oscar De La Hoya when he was undefeated, and he was a beast, and then he did what we respect as boxing fans. He gave us fights that we wanted to see. He jumped in there with Vernon Forrest, who he had already lost to in the amateurs, so that little bit of insecurity was already there. And you saw it in his face, but he fought Forrest, Vernon Forrest, rest in peace, who was really a big welterweight. He looked like he was a middleweight for real, and he just gave Shane Mosley problems. And he lost to Vernon Forrest twice, and then he went on and he fought Winky Wright, and he lost to Winky Wright twice. Again, that's another guy that nobody even wanted to fight at the time. Mayweather definitely wasn't going to fight neither one of them, and we all know that. That's one thing we all know, is Mayweather wasn't going to fight neither one of them. So with those losses right there, and then he fought Cotto, who was an undefeated fighter, who was also an up-and-coming HBO star, which is this new faces of boxing, which is they got Berto in there winning bullshit decisions over Luis Collazo. They got Paul Williams in there getting decisions over Sergio Martinez, which I thought Martinez did enough to win the fight. It was a close fight, though. Paul Williams didn't back down, but he did get the snot knocked out of him. And it's just these decisions. We're gonna be seeing these with these new faces, these Juan Diaz, all these new faces. If it's a close fight, they're always going to get the decision. That's one thing that everybody should know, and we've already seen proof of it. So, well, anyway, he fought Cotto. They both landed the same number of punches in the fight, but Cotto ends up winning the decision. Personally, I thought it was a draw if they both landed the same amount of punches. But some of y'all on here is acting like he got his ass whooped or something like that, and that wasn't the case, because Cotto sure wasn't in a rush to get back in the ring with him for a rematch. So then he went on and fought Antonio Margarito and scared the shit out of everybody in the welterweight division. He knocked the living shit out of Margarito. And I think that scared everybody, because Margarito, he was like a guy who looked like he was unbeatable. He had already beaten the hell out of Miguel Cotto with bricks. We didn't know it was bricks at the time until the night of that Shane Mosley fight. But anyway, he beat the shit out of him, and then everybody in the welterweight division just stayed away from him. So, and I was actually happy when he jumped in the ring with Mayweather, because that gave everybody a visual of the fight. That's something that he had to do. He had to jump out there and put his name out there, because he deserves it. People say that Shane Mosley ducked Mayweather, but that's not true. I don't know how true that is, because for one, Mayweather would have fought Oscar De La Hoya instead of Shane Mosley if that opportunity had presented itself at that time. Anybody would have taken the fight with Oscar De La Hoya back then, even Mayweather himself, and he knows that, and y'all know that too. So the second time, obviously Oscar De La Hoya wanted the shot at Mayweather before Shane Mosley. So I think that's the reason why he was making those excuses, which he did look dumb making those excuses, but I know the reason why he was doing that. I got a pretty good feeling why, you know. So now is the time where he wants to fight Mayweather. So he's going to knock out Andre Berto in the 9th round. Berto is going to sleep in this fight. He has no footwork. He can't beat Shane on the inside, and I think that Shane is just going to have his way with him. I think it's going to be an easy fight because Andre Berto in 2008, Andre Berto looked promising. He looked like a pretty damn good promising welterweight. Like he was going to come in and do some damage, you know. But you know he really doesn't have any power. He's got good speed, but like I say, his footwork is garbage. I think he's overrated. I think as far as the up-and-coming welterweights are concerned, I think that Timothy Bradley's probably the best-looking one right now. And I think, and I like Andre Berto, but I think he lost to Collazo, who Shane Mosley destroyed. And then with Juan Urango, it was just like a boring performance. You know, he was hitting and holding, and you know you can't do that with Shane Mosley. So I think Shane Mosley's experience is going to be too much. That's my thought on the fight. TKO or knockout. Shane Mosley, 9th or 10th round. You guys leave me your comments. Let me know what you think. All right.